Over the week I've been at, where have I been? Market Harbour on a Helmsman's course, which I have to say was very good. Do you need it? Well, if you've got common sense, I don't think you need to do a Helmsman's course in order to go out on a narrowboat. And those people clearly who do hire narrowboats, don't make their people do a Helmsman's course first. But was it worth those great English pounds I paid? Absolutely. I mean, there were just tips, and just the experience gained from going on that course was absolutely amazing. Well worth it, and I'd absolutely recommend, if you want to do a Helmsman's course, then that one near Market Harbour, the Narrowboat Skills Centre, excellent, to be fair. So, who was on the course with me? Well, there was a couple on the course who we kind of gelled straight away, and the reason being is we had something in common. You would never believe that the two people on the course live in the same town that I was brought up in. Wow. So I said to him, where do you live then? Where do you live then, Dave? He says, oh, I live near this school. I said, oh, that was a posh school. I said, if you were to rate that school on the educational tables, they came in the top 10, and I think at times they were in the top 5. I was at the opposite side of town, going to a school which basically was on the opposite direction in the league tables. Anyway, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, to be fair, because people I know that went to the same school as me are millionaires. Clearly I'm not, but great course. So here we go, run the VT. Day 2 of the Helmsman course run by the Narrowboat Skills Centre. So what we're going to do is go through the wobble. Now, wobble is what you know what the wobble's all about, but just in case you don't, W is for water, O is for oil, B, belts. The other B is for bilge, making sure that the bilge is not full of water, otherwise that won't be a good thing. L is for electric, because if you don't have any electric, then you can't get the boat going. And E's, what's E for? If L was for electric, E must have, oh, I got them two mixed up. So E is electric, L is leaks. Right, so here we go then. So I've got the top cover lifted up. Let's get inside the engine bay. Let's have a quick nosy about. Oh, I'll be doing this. Right, what's going on? This is a same engine as what I've got actually. It's a Barris Shire. So looking for oil, no looking for water. Where's the header tank thing? Where's the head? Don't know. There's plenty of water. Right, let's have a look for the dipstick. Dipstick. Oh, here we go. Oh, the groans and grunts. Now I've got to find the hole again. Story of my life. Do you know, and the other thing is, I can't see when my glass is off, and I can't see when my glass is on. Oh, this is not going to go well. Where did this come from? Oh, in there. In there, look. Yeah, there's plenty of oil. Look at that. Belts. Where are we looking? Ah, down this side. That's not too loose. It's not too tight. In fact, I can't move it. So, water, oil, belts and braces, no belts and bilges, electric for E, master switches. Oh, they're under there, look. Yeah, they're on. And leaks. Electrics must have worked because the damn thing turned on. So yesterday, what I've learned yesterday that I can move off from here without getting off the boat. How good's that? How good's that? As a single hander, I don't even have to get off the boat.
What's that called, Chris?
It's called a springy offy thing. Springy off. So what you need to do, you need to plug that thing on the end of that, and the kingfisher goes on the top, and then we cast off at the front. I've got to learn these knots. Oh! Look at that. Ready for the throwy over. So all I need to do now is to move this thing, give this a bit of a reversing thing. And what should happen? Then the boat is swinging out on the right. Pull this through, look. Oh, wrong end. Wrong end. Sort that out in a bit. Here we go. And we're off. Absolutely loving it. This springy thingy, the springy, look at that, doing its own thing. Give it some of that, and then we give it some of this to get rid of that. Look, put it on the boat. I'm off. Give it some of that, and we're off. That lock without a crash. For those people that want to do a helmsman's course, I mean, to be fair, we have been on the water the whole time. 2 days on the water, learning about the canals, having a chat, discussion about stuff. Everyone's having a little bit of a go on the steering, on the helm, and yeah, it's just great. We've done a tunnel earlier on. I wasn't the steerer. Seems right. Gone through my first lock. Seems to have coped reasonably well. But of course that's under instruction. And of course, it's a lot different when you're on your own. I get it. Whose is that boat? It's great. I am going to enjoy this. This is going to be my home. This is going to be my life. It's going to be great. Oh, need to concentrate though. Don't want to be complacent. And we're going into a lock next to somebody else's boat, so concentration on, because I don't want to prang onto his boat, do I? I'll put you down for now. Look at that, coming alongside. Catchy thing on that on the paddles, that you kind of need to control the way that the paddle is lowered, otherwise it just shoots down, and if it shoots down it can't be very good for it, can it? All these things I think are basic common sense, but unfortunately I don't think common sense is common anymore. Far easier when you put your back to it. Ugh. And now the other one's open. Now it's closed. Dave's all over it, look. The one thing I've learnt from doing just 3 locks, it's far easier doing this boating malarkey when you've got a couple. As a single-hander, it's not difficult, it's just more time consuming. And you're walking more and you're using more exercise. So, you know, whilst I'm still young, it's good. But it'll be a bit of a challenge when I'm getting a little bit older. Anyway, that's lessons learnt from locks. So I would tie this off now, wouldn't I?
Just a couple of times around, take the slack up.
Yeah. So this little exercise is something that I want to do because we don't necessarily teach single-handed lock stuff. So I've asked if we could do a single-handed locking exercise. Oh, what a nightmare. I'm just too old. What? Well, that would have been done beforehand, wouldn't it?
Well, you're on your own, so don't blame anybody else.
and a waterproof. And to be fair, I've coped, and I think that's about right. Second day in, used a bit of common, coped.
Good spot.
I've learnt a lot, and that little exercise we did of a single-handed bit has been gold dust. Here we go.
You're on.
Bobby Dazzler. In a short time, this will be me on my own boat. I've not quite got the hang of going in the straight line all the time. It's not been too bad. But there are times I've lost concentration, and I've had to do a little bit of sharp manoeuvring. I suppose the secret is a little bit here and a little bit there. Gift. Mate, I love it. I've come to somewhere in Nottingham. Somewhere, I think it's Nottingham we've come to. I don't really know, to be fair. He was driving and I was just being the passenger, just not really looking at where I'm going. Anyway, we've come to a shop to look at bungs and all that sort of stuff. I've had to choose some fabric. Of all those books, how difficult has that been? And then I've been asked questions that I just don't understand. Do I want piping? Do I want this? Do I want... Mate, I just want some cushions with some coverings on. And yes, it does. It makes all the difference, but I just don't understand it because I'm just a bloke. However, I've got around to choosing some stuff.
5-inch.
That is close enough to Prussian blue, and that is close enough to grey. Worked out. I'm in Derby, not Nottingham. Signs on the door. Should have been a combat indicator. When I was on the course, we had a cruiser stern back, and I was on the tiller thing, which isn't fitted yet. I was on the tiller, and I was having to lean across to get the lever, you know, that gives it the power, the gearbox lever, to the accelerator. Move the accelerator. I was moving it. Now on this boat, because it's a semi-trad, accelerator's just here. Look, I'm leaning. I'm doing the old tillering, steering the boat as it was going, as it was going at the time, occasionally. But I've, you know, the old accelerator thing's just here. Bobby Dazzler. I think there is an absolute benefit for semi-trad sterns. I'm glad I've got a semi-trad stern, and having used that cruiser stern, semi-trad for me all the way. Gearbox thingy here, accelerator, tiller on the small of my back. Slight adjustments, I've learnt, is the way to go. Oh mate, I just loved it. And I also thought, have I made the right decision? Yes, absolutely. Without even living on the boat, they're just 2 days on that course has absolutely assured me I've made the right decision. Anyway, moving on. Books are in look. When the portholes are got glass and all that sort of stuff in there, light from this sidey hatch thing, far better. The camera's kind of struggling because there's not an awful lot of light about, but this would be a great place to work. Get your books out. Look, bit of strategy here, mental mastery. And what's on this side? Oh, it's kind of storybooks. Although that's not really a storybook, nor is that, nor is that, nor is that. Some of the kids' books are here as well. This is going to be the educational room. Bit of a snug. I'll have a computer here to do some editing. But I think this is going to be one of my favourite rooms. Sit back in the chair. That's another thing I need to buy, it's a chair. I can just picture me. It's great, 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 great! Now I need to get up. I was going to talk about toilets this week, but I didn't want this video to end up being about 40 minutes long. So next week, hopefully, I'll be building the sofa bed, which I will review on how easy it is to build, or not, and definitely the toilet. The toilet may be a little bit contentious, but don't forget, this is for my lifestyle and it's me that has to live with the consequences. Mark sprayed the doors, so they've been lacquered. There's been lots going on in the boat over the past week, but this week was all about that Helmsman's course. And if you want to do a Helmsman course, recommend it wholeheartedly. I learned some stuff on there that I didn't know. I was able to do some reversing. I did some 3-point turns, and one of the things I learned on that course was there's an expensive end and there's a more expensive end. The more expensive end is at the back because you've got the tiller, you've got the rudder, you've got the prop, you've got the prop shaft, you've got the engine. And if you did some reversing into a winding hole where it's shallower, then you haven't got any propeller to propel water, you know what I mean? So that's the one thing I learned that I took away, that in my head I kind of thought you could reverse into a winding hole. Why couldn't you? Well, you can't, because it's a bit too shallow and you'll lose all your drive and you could damage your prop shaft, engine, rudder and so forth. So that's a very expensive end. That alone was worth the great English pounds I paid for the course. But I wasn't too bad, I could steer. And when I had to go into the lock next to a newish boat on the left, didn't knock it at all. And even the fella said, pretty good mate. So I'm pleased and I'm looking forward to getting my own boat on the water and having a bit of a practice. I'm going to take it easy. And I think that's about it. I didn't have a chance to make the sofa bed, perhaps next week. And then the boat's almost, a bit of painting, lights need to be finished, engine needs to go in, the back stone needs to go in, so there's still plenty to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you next week.